Welcome to Psychological Explorations with Dr. Michael Axelman. We explore Abraham Maslow and a chapter from his wonderful book, Toward a Psychology of Being. And we focus on creativity and Maslow's presentation, creativity in self-actualizing people. Maslow had just a remarkable and a transforming career on the field. He became chair of the Department of Psychology at Brandeis University in 1951. Went on to be president of the American Psychological Association 1967 to 1968. He founded the discipline of humanistic psychology, positive psychology, and just this wonderful exploration of kind of the normative experience, the peak experience, and this move towards helping people reach their potential rather than focusing so much on illness and dysfunction. Maslow begins by redefining the creative act. I learned to apply the word creative and also the word aesthetic, not only to products, but also to people in a characterological way, and to activities, processes, and attitudes. And furthermore, I had come to apply the word creative to many products other than the standard and conventionally accepted poems, theories, novels, experiments, and paintings. So the special talent creativeness versus self-actualizing creativeness. Self-actualizing creativeness springs naturally from the personality as a tendency to do anything creatively. Some things as mundane as housekeeping, teaching, and the like. Such people can see the fresh, the raw, the concrete, the ideographic, as well as the generic, the abstract, the rubricized, the categorized, and the classified. Consequently, they live far more in the real world of nature than in the verbalized world of concepts, abstractions, expectations, beliefs, and stereotypes that most people confuse for the real world. Maslow puts the accent on the spontaneous and the expressive, very similar in this way of raising the spontaneous, as Winnicott did, to a very high level of living and functioning. Winnicott focused on the spontaneous gesture, and Maslow on this way of expressing oneself in a creative way that's born of spontaneity. More natural, less inhibited, and controlled compared to average. The ability to express ideas and impulses without strangulation and without fear of ridicule turned out to be an essential aspect of the self-actualizing creativity. Their innocence of perception and expressiveness was combined with sophisticated minds. And this distinction between work and play became shadowy. The inner integration of the person. We speak here of the ability to integrate and of the playback and forth between integration within the person and his ability to integrate whatever it is that he is doing in the world. To the extent that creativeness is constructive, synthesizing, unifying, and integrative, to that extent, it depends in part on the inner integration of the person. This capacity to imagine potentials, to play them out in the mind, put them out in the real world, gather feedback, play again with these conceptions internally. This is part of that experience of that integration and unintegration that moves creativity forward. The self-actualized differ from the average neurotic. Average and neurotic people wall off fear and much that lies within themselves. They control, they inhibit, they repress, and they suppress. They disapprove of their deeper selves and expect others to do too. In the extreme instance, we have the obsessional person, flat, tight, rigid, frozen, controlled, cautious, who can't laugh or play or love or be silly or trusting or childish. The self-actualized waste less of their time and energy protecting themselves from themselves. Primary creativity is this wellspring of creativity. The kind of creativeness I have been trying to sketch out is best exemplified by the improvisation, as in jazz or in childlike paintings, rather than by the work of art designated as great. That's more of the secondary creativity, which is very mental. A peak experience happens to the person, but the person makes the great product. I shall call primary creativity that which proceeds from and uses the primary process much more than the secondary processes, which is essentially the consolidation and development of other people's ideas. So that synthesis of other people's ideas is a secondary form of creativity, rather than one born of intuition and these primary impressions. Integrated creativity. It seems to come more immediately from fusion of primary and secondary processes, rather than from working through repressive control of forbidden impulses and wishes. And here Maslow makes a very sharp distinction, which he does it many times in his writing, from traditional Freudian theory. And in closing, self-actualizing creativity stresses the personality over achievements, person over products, stresses characterological qualities of boldness, courage, freedom, spontaneity, perspicuity, integration, self-acceptance, all of which make possible the kind of generalized, self-actualized creativeness which expresses itself in the creative life and the creative attitude or the creative person. Thank you for joining us once again. Psychological explorations. Come back for future podcasts. Take care for now.